it's very important to pay your taxes.
Thank
I
you.
will say that. It's
Thank
really
you.
important. A lot of the judges do ask for taxes when you're in an asylum hearing.
Wow.
So make sure you're doing it. It shows good moral character to the court.
Okay, so that shows a good character. And I want to ask you, is there specific countries right now currently accepting asylum? Is there a specific country? Because America, you said you could try, right? And our lawyers are on the ground trying their very best to, help you. But a lot of people don't want to take that shot. So is there other countries that still helping or processing asylum seekers?
I mean, I believe every country does.
Okay.
Some countries have a lower success rate than others. I think a lot of the reasons why people come to America is it's on the higher end of success. America, Europe, Canada.
Okay.
Like Japan, South Korea, Chile, it's almost a 0% grant rate across the board. So even though they apply, they don't win.
Even when you apply, you might not win. Right?
Yes.
And is there a common reason why you get denied? What is the specific reason that
In America?
Yes.
I mean,
You know mostly about America right now,
Yes.
right? So let's go with America. What's gonna get you denied?
usually, it just not being prepared well. I mean, a lot of times the judges are looking at what type of evidence you're providing from your country, because as lovely as someone's word is, nobody believes it. You need to have things to back up the word. They also look at how a person retells their story. It's a lot of pressure on someone. But they do look, those are the main things. And like Wendy said, it starts at the beginning. It's a lot of people don't make it past the first phase of the interview because they don't they don't feel comfortable saying everything they need to say to the first officer.
Right.
They think they're going to get arrested like they do in their country, but people should know they need to tell them everything and be detailed and not to be afraid, because if you don't pass that first step, you're not making it in.
Wow. And also another thing would be country conditions. So let's say hypothetically you've come over from a country where there was a dictatorship and you were opposed to it, and your asylum case is dragging on, and now it's 5 years later and that person's not in office anymore, and now your country is safe and you could go back. That's another reason why people get denied asylum, because the country conditions have changed.
Okay.
So you have to be mindful of that. And like Stella was touching on, credibility is such an important thing. If the judge feels like you're not answering the questions truthfully and you're shifting in your seat and you're just not telling the story, with detail about what happened, because it's your life, so you should know the details, then the judges will find that you're not credible, and that's a killer for asylum.
Wow. That's a killer. So, hello everyone, welcome to Switch TV. My name is Atamame Samukai. Atamame Unkomonayamede. Welcome to Switch TV. Tonight we are here and I have a lovely guest with me, two lovely guests. You can't miss today. So stay tuned. We'll come back. Yes, welcome back to Switch TV. And as I told you, today we are here with immigration lawyers, two immigration lawyers, and I'll let them introduce themselves shortly. However, if you get the chance, please right now go to YouTube and subscribe to Switch TV. There are so many questions that a lot of you have been waiting for, and I know today is the day. It's time. Let's get some questions going. I'll let my guests introduce themselves, and I'm going to my first guest. Yes, my lady on the left, right? How are you?
I'm good. Good morning. My name is Stella Malive, and I'm an immigration attorney.
Oh, nice. I was going to come there, but I like that. Your name is Stella.
Yes.
That's a lovely name. Okay, welcome to Switch TV.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. And my next guest also Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Wendy Evoli. I'm an immigration attorney also. Thank you so much for having us here today.
You're so welcome. Wendy and Stella, that's lovely. And Miss Wendy, a lot of people have so many questions going on right now.
Understandable.
So many confusion. When you go outside, it's like you're scared to go out. And we are so happy that today we have with you in our midst to explain a lot of things to us because we want to clear the air. These are questions that is on the street. It's not like we're making it up. This is some things or certain questions that a lot of people are looking forward to know. So I'm glad that you're here with us today. At least by the end of the conversation, a lot of people get clarity and also will find a way to solve their problems as well. So first of all, I'm going to go straight to, can I say Miss Stella?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, I'm going to go straight to Miss Stella. Immigration. A lot of people, a lot of from other countries come to United States through immigration. And without immigration, we cannot be here. And we know the status is aliens, right? That's how we refer to anybody outside of your comfort zone that comes over here. So right now, it's a lot of people that came through the border.
Yes.
And the reason why we're treating this topic today is mainly because of the deportation that's going on, has taken over United States right now. People are scared to watch the news. So with you being here, I would like to ask you, what do you know about immigration? And first of all, asylum, to be specific, because a lot of people seek asylum to come over here. And some come through the border, some get detention. It's a lot of process that goes on. But to you, being a lawyer, what is asylum and what is immigration?
So immigration, obviously there's many ways that people come here. Most people that come through the border do seek asylum, and asylum in the simplest form means that they're afraid to return to their country. Usually it has to be based on a protected ground. Okay. So something regarding the client's religion or perhaps their personal ethnicity or background. Mm-hmm. Usually they fear their government, or it's people in their country that are not their government, but that the government won't protect them from. So a lot of people that cross the border normally do seek that. By international laws, once a person enters at the border and expresses a fear to enter, they are not allowed to deport them. What the government has to do is start what's called a credible fear process. And in that process, the people are interviewed by an asylum officer. So they need to be ready at that point to discuss why they're afraid to go back and in detail. So, and if you don't speak English, that's okay. The government of the United States will provide interpreters in all languages. And if they can't, they will not proceed with the interview. If someone has a positive interview, likely now we're seeing more people that have positive interviews are being held in detention.
Yes.
Except for pregnant women. They are releasing, or anyone with serious health conditions, they are still releasing them. But at some point, we know that President Trump is detaining a lot of people. Once the jails do become full, we think they are going to start releasing non-priority people. People with not criminal histories, people that have never entered the United States, it's their first time. So things do change on a daily. So... Yes, but people are still crossing the border and can still seek asylum. I mean, there might be legal challenges, but it's not like completely closed and shut.
Wow, that's a good one. You said people are still crossing the border, right?
Yes.
And as of now?
From the statistics that we've seen, there were, 600 or so people that crossed on Sunday alone. It's not as many people. I think... I'm not, 100% of how they're doing it, but it seems like at the border, once they get to U.S. soil and they do express some sort of fear, some people are getting through and some people are not. So I think it's going to be individual.
Yes. That's nice. She says it's going to be individual, and you might never know. Just if you still want to come, you're still welcome to come, but we can't tell you or promise you what's going to go on at the border, and that's very nice. answer to the question that I asked before. So I'm going to go to my next guest, Miss Stella and Miss
Wendy.
Wendy, I'm sorry about
That's
that.
okay.
Miss Wendy, what are the legal requirements for someone to be eligible for asylum?
Well, as Stella was saying earlier, it's you could apply for asylum based on race, religion, nationality,
Okay.
political opinion, or membership in a particular social group.
Okay.
So those are the 5 different categories that people apply under. You also have to apply within 1 year of your arrival to the United States. There are limited exceptions for that, changed circumstances. If you came in on a visa, and then let's say something happened back in your home country that makes you fear returning, then you could apply even if it's after you've been here for 1 year. But basically, it's a really hard and fast rule that you have to apply within 1 year.
Wow.
And also just, Stella had mentioned before, the requirement is that you fear your government or that your government won't protect you from other people within the country.
Okay. So fear and for fear, and also when you're coming from your country, you should have a specific reason. You can't
Yes.
just get up and say, I'm going to America. There has to be a specific reason that is tangible for you to be here or seek asylum.
Absolutely. I mean, I think one of the main things is, if you come over and you say to an immigration officer, I'm here because I'm looking for employment, that's not a reason for asylum.
Okay.
If you come over and you say that someone in my neighborhood robbed me and I'm in fear of living there, that's not a reason for asylum.
Okay.
So, there really has to be a very specific reason that ties back to your country of why you're in fear for your life there.
Oh wow, that's a good one too. I'm going to go forward to my next question. I have had a clarity from what you've given me so far, because a lot of people don't know why they seek asylum. Mostly they just go because other people are going. Some people have friends that, get their bags and just start going, and they also move along with them. And it's very dangerous. A lot of people don't even think about it. The street, the roads, the desert, the river, they're doing all of this just to be in America, and they don't think about the consequences and the side effects of it. But right now, at the point that America is right now, we are all looking forward to changes, because our motive, right, from back home, I'm from Ghana, so the motive back home, let me just go to America for greener pastures. Let me go to America for, let's say, I want to have my freedom. Let's go to America. But a lot of people here are also migrating to Africa. So, it's kind of weird. People going there and other people coming here. We see a lot of African Americans going back like year of return and all that. And I'm like, I am here. I want to be here. So if they're going there, what have they seen over there that they're running, towards? But with that being said, I just want to go to the other question. How long? People don't think about the processing. It's just like, when you want to file for somebody or you want to bring a relative in, it takes processing.
Years.
So how does the processing go, and how long does it take?
It could take years. I mean, first of all, it depends what jurisdiction you're in, meaning, which court that you're in. We have cases in New Jersey that clients don't get their first hearing until 2029.
Oh.
And when you're applying for asylum, it's minimum 2 hearings. You go to your first hearing, which is called a master calendar hearing, which is basically like a scheduling conference. And then your second hearing is when you tell your story of what happened to you. So New Jersey doesn't have as many judges as New York has. New York has a lot more judges, so those cases tend to move faster. But it depends. Texas has its own time schedule. And it also depends. Let's say you came in and you weren't given notice to appear in court, which is what starts your court case, and you're filing with the asylum office. It used to be that, we have cases that we filed back in 2014 that still haven't been called to the asylum office, which is just terrible. Now they're doing last ones in, first ones out, but that can change. So, this administration is changing everything every day. So it's kind of hard to keep up with all the different rules, but assume if you're coming over, you're going to be here for a pretty long time before everything is resolved. And if you lose your asylum case, you get to appeal, which could keep you here even longer. So it's a long process.
Wow. and it doesn't have specific timing. Since I'm just trying to figure out, because filing for a relative sometimes 5 years, and we are impatient. We think I want to bring maybe my mom in, I want to bring my brother in. Sometimes it take like 9 years for I think a brother or sister, and then the family, let's say mom or dad, it takes 5 years, and your spouse does the minimum, but still people take longer for to bring their spouses in. So we don't think about the timing and all that. We just want to be here.
Well, Stella's our expert in consular processing, so she could probably answer that one.
It also depends on the embassy you're in. So, unfortunately, people with embassies like in Ghana that require all their visas to be issued for tourists and everything do take longer. So versus like if you're in Europe or someone else, it's faster. But usually a spouse of a citizen or minor children of a citizen or parents, the average processing time from the time the person files is probably like 18 months until they're here in the U.S.
Yes.
Things may slow down with this president. We expect it to. But yeah, all the other categories are very slow. Like brothers is 15 years, brothers and sisters. Any adult children are also, it's a very, very long time. The reason that the family categories take a long time is because the U.S. government gives a certain amount of visas per year. So for each category. So we've already met the maximum and they just keep filing. So they just go in order of whoever filed first and then they call them. But citizens that have spouses or parents or minor children, it's unlimited. So it's just a matter of processing. But as you know, everything is slow. Everything is slow in immigration.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's very perfectly answered also. And thank you so much for all those answers you've given us. Trust me, the street is hot. Everybody is, get some lawyers. Don't speculate. People are just, giving their point of view right now. And we want to have answers from solid grounds. And that's why we have you here today. So I know I've been asking you a lot of questions. She's getting ready for the next one. But I'm going to go back to you, Miss Stella. What happens all this processing time? We waiting so many years to get, approved. And some people may get denied as well.
Yes.
So what happens after denial?
They can appeal.
Oh.
There are different processes for asylum and for other things where you're denied in immigration court. They can appeal to 2 higher courts. But with the amount of people that have come in the last several years and many places are getting more denials than grants outside of New York. So but there's only one place to appeal for the entire country. So people are waiting 3, 4, 5 years for an appeal to even be decided on. During that time, if they're here and they have work authorization, they can renew it. And as long as they stay out of criminal trouble, we don't see that they're going to be picked up by Trump. And anything, they'll just be allowed to remain here. But the chances of success on appeal are definitely much harder. The first shot is always the best shot. And then it becomes lower and lower. People do succeed on appeal, but it's definitely lower.
Wow. So it's lower now, but still ongoing.
It's possible, yes.
Okay.
It's every situation is independent, So
Okay, got you.
I think it's important just to add in, while your appeal is pending, you can't leave the United States.
You cannot leave.
You cannot leave the United States. While your appeal is pending.
That's what people don't know. Because I've seen a lot of people come in and they see the situations and whatever is happening and the speculations, and they are scared and they just want to go back to probably Canada and just come back when everything is okay,
Yeah.
And it's good to hear that once you leave, no coming back.
Yes.
No coming back.
Wow. Okay, so with that being said, if some currently America, with Trump being the president right now, I just want to know, this is my personal question, are people still seeking asylum right now?
Yes.
Currently?
Yes. We have many cases that are still pending. People are still applying. We have heard from other attorneys that work at the border, so to speak. People do still enter. But like I said earlier, the people that are entering now are probably being transferred to detentions, kept there, and if they win their asylum, are released afterwards. So, yes. But I mean, everybody wants their case to be done quick. If you are in detention, it moves at the speed of light, because the government is paying to keep you there. So most people will finish their case in a matter of months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In a matter of months.
Months. Yes, quickly, very quickly.
Wow. That's nice. Some people come also with children, right? And some come with their spouses. So is the processing different? Because we've seen the singles, let's say single, one person coming in, like a mom or a dad, coming by themselves. And when they seek greener pastures, they go back and grab their other spouses or children back in here. But we also see cases with other people with the whole family, probably mom, dad, and children coming through the border. So how do they, I know you don't do that, but how do they process those with the children, and how do they process those without the children?
Usually the primary people for detention are men.
Oh, okay.
Men are usually first, but now we are hearing women are also being detained.
Yes.
And if they enter with minor children, the children are put in foster care. They don't detain children.
They don't put them together with the families?
No.
We are hearing now that no, they're detaining the women and they're placing them in foster care. I mean, everything is still new. I don't know how much longer it's going to go on. So things may change. But this is what's we're hearing. Nobody has anything concrete unless you're down at the border. But like I said, like if the woman is pregnant or has severe issues, they are releasing them with the children. Before, during Biden, they would release the women with the children and detain the men that come as families.
Wow.
So
There needs to be public outcry like there was during the first Trump administration when they were putting the kids, the kids in cages, as everybody heard, because that helped to change what was going on. But we haven't seen that yet here in society, but hopefully that will eventually happen. So there'll be pressure on them to treat people humanely.
Right. I tell you, a lot of people are scared to try it.
I get it. It's scary.
It's scary. You never know, because I've seen somebody being deported because they had a kid in the car with no car seats, and she spent 2 months in in prison, and then was deported during this process of ICE. So you never know. And right now, I came in with lottery. And we've seen lotteries it's not being processed anymore right now. He just put a ban on it. So we can't tell what's going to go on the next day, the next minute. Everybody isn't safe until it is safe. And that's why we are okay to have lawyers to answer the questions that we really want to hear, the questions that's out there. When you answer them for us, we will be able to make decisions for us and other asylum seekers. I'm not one of them, though, but I'm asking the questions for them, because when you're on the streets, these are the questions that a lot of people are asking and looking for to find some kind of answers to. So, with that being said, I just want to go to the other question that I have for you, Miss Lawyer Wendy. Yes, I got it this time. Yeah.
Call me Miss Wendy, Lawyer Wendy.
Lawyer, right? Yes, we here today. We're not joking. Lawyer Wendy, how do the recent changes in immigration affect asylum?
Well, I mean, that's kind of a hard question to answer. In terms of the basics of asylum, they're still the same. It's still the 5 reasons why you could apply.
Okay.
It's still, it's still filing within the 1 year. It's still that your country is unable or unwilling to protect you from certain people.
Okay.
So those things are still there.
Okay.
In terms of the changes, I mean, I think what we're seeing is the judges, we're seeing that are under more pressure to deny cases.
Yes.
We're seeing that the government attorneys are being more aggressive
Okay.
in cases. Hearings that used to take us maybe, an hour and a half to, do from start to finish can now go on for a couple of hours. So there's definitely a lot of pressure on the government actors, the judges and the government attorneys to deny more. So you really need to come prepared. And, we were just talking about this earlier, that your case starts even before you enter the country. So it's when you get to the border, if you have a credible fear interview, it's saying why you're in fear. It's making sure that your asylum application, when you're submitting it to the court, has a story that touches on all the details that you need to provide to get granted. And you really need to make sure that everything is done really properly and just without any mistakes, because the judges are looking for reasons to deny.
Wow. Well, judges are still looking for reasons to deny, and don't forget that once you enter into the United States and the border and you've been arrested, your process starts right away.
Exactly.
So we're just going to go on a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Hello guys, welcome back to Switch TV. My name is Atamame. Welcome and welcome. Today, stay tuned. I have a lot of other answers for you. I don't want you to just sit there and think that, we have a lot of answers for your questions. So stay tuned. We're going to go to my guests. I have Miss Wendy and Miss Stella. Miss Wendy, I was talking to you about the recent changes that the immigration status right now have on asylum.
Yes.
And I'm going to go to Miss Stella to give us a touch base on what Miss Wendy, Lawyer Wendy was saying.
Yes. So they are, even with the former president and the current, there have been several bans for people to seek asylum.
Okay.
That doesn't mean they can't get international protection. It just means they can't get asylum. There are exceptions to the rule for the Biden rules. With Trump, there's no exceptions. But I don't want people to feel deterred in that sense, because we do have other lawyers, human rights attorneys, who are suing the president. And the president of the United States had a similar rule 4 years ago when he was president. There was a full ban of asylum for anyone that crossed illegally, and there was a group of lawyers that sued him and won. So anyone that was granted some sort of relief and denied asylum after these lawyers won were able to reopen their case, get asylum, and ultimately get their green cards and bring their families here. So just because something stands now doesn't mean it's final, because there are people working day and night to help all types of immigrants and refugees that are seeking protection.
That's a good thing to hear, because I'm so happy to hear that, because a lot of people are even scared to go take things like food stamps or get help from the public, or get their little children to school knowing they don't have documents, and maybe when they're sick they're afraid to go to the doctor now, because you never know, you get caught, you're going back to where you're coming from. So it's good to know that there are certain things on grounds right now that you can also seek help from. And we're going to get your contact at the end of the conversation, probably getting to the end of it, so that anybody that wants to reach out to you personally, they can do so. And we cannot promise you, please don't be too excited. We cannot promise you. They will do their best to get you whatever need that you need, right?
Yes.
And Miss Wendy, with that being said, and good answer to the other question, can asylum seeker also apply for green card, or let's say work permit? Because mostly they are in the country. Let's say you've gone through the process, you've been approved, and you are here. Some don't know what to do after you've been released. Yes. They don't know.
So I think the number one question in our office is, when am I getting my work permit? Okay. Every day, 24 hours a day, we get this question. So when an asylum seeker comes over, they have to file their asylum application. And then once the asylum application has been pending for 150 days, then you could apply for your work authorization.
150? Guys, 150 days.
150 days
A
is
lot
the
of people
magic
don't
day.
even know that.
They don't. So we get that a lot of times, people, we put in their asylum applications, when am I getting my work permit, when am I getting it? It doesn't come automatically. You have to apply for it after the 150 days.
Okay.
So then they'll get their work permits. Now, let's say they won asylum. After that, after 6 months after that, they could apply for their green card. So, the process was, we're seeing, about 2 years now for adjustment of status for green card, from about 2 years for them to get their green cards after they've won asylum.
Okay, and that's a permanent green card?
That's a permanent green card.
Okay, and through that, they can also become citizens, right?
Yes, well, 4 years, 9 months after they get that green card,
Okay.
they could apply for citizenship.
Wow, a lot of people don't know. My people don't know, because
That's why we're here
when
to
they are
explain
released,
everything.
they just stay around and go maybe working underground, so getting minimum pays, not really the minimum pay, but they get minimum pays, and they are okay with it because at the end of the day, they're making ends meet, right? So it's good to know that after a period of time, they should be able to apply for green card.
Yes.
And after a period of time from the green card period, you still can apply for your citizenship. Just try and be legal. Don't stay illegal, after you've been released. Because that means when you were released, you weren't working, you weren't doing anything, you're not contributing, you're not bringing any income to the country. So when when ICE gets hold of you, sometimes it's our fault that they have to take you back because you're not doing anything here.
It's very important to pay your taxes.
Thank
I
you.
will say that. It's
Thank
really
you.
important. A lot of the judges do ask for taxes when you're in an asylum hearing.
Wow.
So make sure you're doing it. It shows good moral character to the court.
Okay, so that shows a good character. And so I want to ask you, is there specific countries right now currently accepting asylum? Is there a specific country? Because America, you said you could try, right? And our lawyers are on the ground trying their very best to, help you. But a lot of people don't want to take that shot. So is there other countries that are still helping or processing asylum seekers?
I mean, I believe every country does.
Okay.
Some countries have a lower success rate than others. I think a lot of the reasons why people come to America is it's on the higher end of success. America, Europe, Canada.
Okay.
Like Japan, South Korea, Chile, it's almost a 0% grant rate across the board. So
Okay.
even though they apply, they don't win.
Even when you apply, you might not win, right?
Yes.
And is there a common reason why you get denied? What is the specific reason that
In America?
Yes.
I mean,
You know mostly about America right now,
Yes.
right? So let's go with America. What's gonna get you denied?
usually, it just not being prepared well. I mean, a lot of times the judges are looking at what type of evidence you're providing from your country. Because
Okay.
as lovely as someone's word is, nobody believes it. You need to have things to back up the word. They also look at how a person retells their story. It's a lot of pressure on someone.
Okay.
But they do look. Those are the main things. And like Wendy said, it starts at the beginning. It's a lot of people don't make it past the first phase of the interview because they don't they don't feel comfortable saying everything they need to say to the first officer.
Right.
They think they're going to get arrested like they do in their country, but people should know they need to tell them everything and be detailed and not to be afraid, because if you don't pass that first step, you're not making it in.
And also another thing would be country conditions. So let's say hypothetically you've come over from a country where there was a dictatorship and you were opposed to it, and your asylum case is dragging on, and now it's 5 years later and that person's not in office anymore, and now your country is safe and you could go back. That's another reason why people get denied asylum, because the country conditions have changed.
Okay.
So you have to be mindful of that. And like Stella was touching on, credibility is such an important thing. If the judge feels like you're not answering the questions truthfully and you're shifting in your seat and you're just not telling the story, with detail about what
Right,
happened, because it's your life, so you should know the details.
Right.
Then the judges will find that you're not credible, and that's a killer for asylum.
Wow, that's a killer. So let's say a person is telling you a story to is it
They'll tell the judge their story.
The judge, right? And then Judge B comes in and your story is not in line. That is fishy, so it means you're lying. There's a lie somewhere, right? Oh, okay. Thank you so much. We are being relieved now. Criminal backgrounds. You see, you're nodding, right? A lot of people are running away because they probably, did something wrong in their country. Let's say right now Trump is deporting a lot of people because of your criminal backgrounds, and you go end up in, let's say, Mexico, you end up in Canada, you end up. How does that affect your asylum?
I mean, right now, in the U.S., they just passed a new law called the Lake and Riley Act.
Okay.
So if you're even accused of certain crimes, you'll be detained, and basically, I mean, again, another killer for keeping you here in the United States. It's really important to stay out of trouble. Even, someone just got a ticket in New York, someone held the door open at the train station and they passed through also. So
I was going to ask that.
Evading a fare. And that's something that, could put you in ISIS crosshairs, and you just have to be very careful, really careful.
So anything can be serious now.
Anything.
Any crime, any little crime can be serious.
Yes.
Wow. Because during summer we see a lot of migrants. They were new, right? Like, I don't know whether they come in from the border but you could say they knew, and mostly they would just wait at the train station, want somebody to either swipe for them or they would jump, right? I have been going those days and I barely see them jump, unless the real African Americans that were really born here, like the citizens here, they do it sometimes, but they'll open and tell you, hey, you want to pass and give them $1 or $2. They're still doing it. But I don't see the people that I used to see jumping trains do it this time around. And which means that the message is out there. They're watching the news and all that. So stay out of trouble. That's what we can do, the best thing to do right now.
So important.
So let's say somebody just go on the bus. Before you can just put $2 in, right? Now it's $2.90. So if you have $2, just like we used to do before, and you drop your coins in, and the bus driver is looking at you like, hello, something should tell you that's not right. And the state is losing a lot of money also, because they have to pay the driver, they have to pay this, pay taxes, do that. The road needs to be done. So what is the minimum? Well, you told me every crime is a crime now. So what are the challenges that a lot of asylum seekers face? The challenges. You've explained to me, let me broaden it up a little bit. You've explained that you have to have a reason to come here, right? But even though you give them your reason, some of them still get detained. So what are the challenges? You have to come out. When you're outside, you have to find yourself a job, because it's not free. Nobody's giving you rent for free. Nobody's giving you food for free. Now the food pantry, I know somebody who went for food pantry for months and months, right? But last week when she went for the food pantry, they had given her a letter to come back home and gather all the household composition and bring it back before they would give her the food. And when she went with a rent letter from the landlord, they denied her. They told her to go back, bring all the household composition. They have to have a citizenship record. So she has to get the birth certificates. And I'm like, since when? This is not our America. That's not what, what's going on. But yes, this is what happened. And with my own eyes, I saw it. So I'm asking, what are the challenges? Are they still having the free benefit of, go to the food pantry, get something to eat, till you get to your feet, or go here, you're going to get help, go to the social worker, you have other places where people go seek help. What are the challenges when they come out? You've met a lot of them, so probably they tell you what they go through when they're outside.
I mean, I think there are still organizations that are on the ground that are trying to help people who are trying to get on their feet. People are not supposed to be working. You can't work legally until you get your work authorization. Okay. So there is about a year gap between when you enter and when you have your work authorization. So that is challenging for a lot of people. But I think that yes, there might be federal aid and local aid that might be rolled back.
Yes.
Because, the Trump administration is trying to take money away from
Okay.
those programs. But I'm hopeful that there'll be organizations that will spring up to fill the void that people are definitely going to be feeling.
Well, let's hope so. Our fingers are crossed, hoping that things will change. Well, it's not too tension as it started. When it started, it was very chaos and terrible. But you can see things are easing out a little bit. People are beginning to, come out of their shells. A lot of people were indoors. Some stopped going to work because they know they never know when, ICE is going to knock on their door or their workplace to deport them. And if families are being separated, I'm going to go to Miss Stella, Lawyer Stella. If families are being separated, right, and you are asylum seeker, let's say you've been deported, but your daughter isn't, what do you do?
I mean, it's sad, but sometimes the children stay here so they can have a better life. Sometimes the children do return with their parents. I mean, there are things that can be done for children. There are special ways to get green cards for children that are not necessarily available to adults. So sometimes the children do stay here without the parents, and the parents leave them because they want the child to have a better life long term.
Right.
So that does happen. It's sad. I don't see it happen as often. Usually, the parents are deported all together with the children, or they all succeed together as a whole. So it is sad, but it does happen.
And what do you do when that happens? What do you do? Let's say I'm being deported, but my children, I have to stay here. Do I have the choice to make a decision to take my child with me, or that's the government's decision to make?
No, the parents could absolutely take their children with them.
Okay.
Nobody is going to take children away from their parents.
Okay.
Even if they are U.S. born citizen children, their parents can take them back home with them. They're their children. Nobody's taking the children away from parents.
Okay. Because we know the system is not that,
Yes.
I've seen people where, they give the kids to some other people. Let's say the mom and dad are being domestic violence, and all that, and the child is being taken away, right? They give it to somebody. I've taken my child to school sometime and seen children that are being taken away from their biological parents and given to somebody else to take care of, right?
Yes.
And she's smoking, or she's cursing out, and you see that child the way they dress out, and you say, no, I don't want my child to be in the system. Some get abused, some get raped, some, it's a whole lot of things that go on. And I just want to know, you being lawyers, do somebody check on those children as they've been given away to other parents other than their biological parents?
Yes. I mean, usually children that are placed into foster care, there is a social worker that does come to the home and check the home and make sure the children are safe. And if they're not safe, then they get removed from that home and placed in another home. Obviously, the system is not perfect. So if there's a lot of kids in foster care, and the social workers are probably very overwhelmed. So they probably go some places, and some places fall between the cracks. So that's why you see sometimes it's not perfect. It happens. But, normally the U.S. government doesn't take away children from their parents, even if they're illegal, unless there's some sort of abuse going on to the child, or it's an unsafe environment for the child.
Wow. So parents can make their own choice to either leave the children here or take their children with them.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Lawyer Wendy. Lawyer Wendy, children are either, you can either take your child or either leave them here. And when that happens, let's say you've been deported, or somebody seeking asylum has a deportation on them, what do they do? What should they do? I think that's how I can put it. You definitely, your process, the lawyers have tried their best. Lawyer Wendy, Lawyer Stella have tried. They've been to court. They represented you. But still, your case is being denied. And when that happens, deportation, right? So when you have deportation on you, what should you do?
Well, first, maybe see if there's a way to appeal your case. as we were
You
saying before.
appeal the case.
Right, so you get denied asylum, you appeal your case. Appealing your case will give you more time to stay in the United States.
Okay.
And you may have other options. That's the whole thing. Like, that's where an immigration attorney really comes into play.
Okay.
Because somebody may have filed for you many, many years ago. Or
Yes.
maybe you were the victim of a crime. There's a visa type that a lot of people don't know about. It's called a U visa. So if you were the victim of certain crimes,
Okay.
or if you aided the police if you witnessed a crime,
Okay.
the government may certify it and say this person should be allowed to stay in the United States because they were a victim. But most people don't know about that.
Right.
We had somebody that came to us who was a victim of a carjacking in 1993. And he had no idea that this was available to him. And it took a while, but we got the police to, cooperate with us. And now he's on the path to getting a green card because of this. So those are the things that, are really case specific to somebody. And once you start talking to an immigration attorney, you can find out that, oh, wait a minute, I didn't even know I had this.
Right.
So that's where our knowledge comes into play.
Wow. So the best thing to do is to find a lawyer.
Yes.
Speak to a lawyer. Don't sit down and relax and eat food and think it's okay because you're already in here. And because New York City used to be the sanctuary city, right? And a lot of cities also, other states, sanctuary. But right now, we're not sanctuary anymore because...
Well, we still are. We still are at the moment a sanctuary city. That may change, but right now we're still a sanctuary city.
Okay. So it's not being finalized.
But just being a sanctuary city, I mean, that just means that you're not going to be turned over to ICE.
Right.
But, if you miss a court date, that's
a red flag.
That's huge. That's a huge problem for you.
Right.
So no, when you get here, don't sit down. I mean, obviously eat something, but don't sit down. Start gathering information.
Right.
Information is your friend. There'll be a lot of people who will give you misinformation. So
Right.
it really is very important that you speak to somebody, even if it's not us, to speak to somebody who knows the process, because there are certain things that have to take place or else they could be absolutely detrimental to your case.
Wow. And that means missing your court date.
That's it.
Let's say you've been given today to come to court and you think, oh, my lawyer can do a lot for me. When the lawyer goes, it's just she's representing me. So if she goes, I can stay home and maybe mind my business or something and wait for her to give me the result. When you miss that date, that means you're out.
Unless the judge specifically says that the client doesn't have to go with us.
Okay.
And especially if you're not represented and you miss your court date, the judge will order you deported. And it's very hard to get those things opened back up.
Wow.
We could try, but it's a challenge.
Okay. So always follow the rules.
Yes, and pay attention.
Pay attention.
Pay attention to your case.
Okay. So thank you so much, Miss Stella.
Yes.
Paying attention is very important during the process, right? And I just want you to give us your contact if it's okay by you, because a lot of people need lawyers right now. There's a lot of cases out there that they don't want to even go outside to shop. They don't want to be caught in the train stations. They don't want to be caught, on the bus. They just scared. So if you have been taking, charge of their cases for a very long time. I don't know how many years, but I think you're going to tell me how many years, because they really want to know before they'll probably come to you. So not specifically the date, but just a time frame of how long you've been practicing law. And if you can share with us your contact number.
Sure.
Yes.
So
for anybody who wants to find a lawyer for their case.
Wendy and I have had our firm. We've been immigration attorneys in private practice for over 10 years. And before that, I did work for other people as an immigration attorney.
Okay.
So we have a lot of experience. Our initial consultation is free, so don't be afraid. I think everybody, especially now with Trump, go seek advice from an attorney, because if you're unrepresented, you have the highest chance of deportation.
Okay.
So our contact is 212-634-6322.
Okay. Repeat it again.
212-634-6322.
Okay,
if
and
I
you
could
are
also
here
add-
in New York City, right?
Yes, our office is in Manhattan.
Manhattan. Okay,
Yes.
thank you,
But
Miss Wayne.
we work all over the country. We actually work all over the world.
Yes.
All over the
All
world.
over the world. We have clients from all over
Okay.
the world, and we're also on
Okay.
TikTok. It's Yvoli and Malaya, where we give information about different topics in immigration.
Okay.
And we're on Instagram as well.
Wow.
And YouTube now, I think, also.
And you too. But we're going to tag their names and their social media handles together with the video when we upload it. So anybody that wants to reach out to them, feel free to reach out to them. And I'm pretty sure they're going to give you the answers that you're really looking out for. So, Miss Lawyer Wendy, can you just add to what she was saying?
I think the most important thing is, that we understand there's a lot of fear out there. These are scary times.
Okay.
We get it. We want to help.
Right.
And there's a lot of people out there that want to help. I do believe that. And, just make sure that you get your information from a reliable person. That's really important because there is so much misinformation out there. And, just if you really do have fear of returning to your country, then you really do need to, try your case and let a judge hear it and hope for the best, But, we are here to support people.
Okay.
And hopefully, once Trump's been in office for a little while, maybe things will calm down a little bit.
Right.
We hope. But if not, we're here.
Okay. And we're glad that you are here. You're here to stay. Okay. So guys, don't forget to get to them and they will help you in their best possible way. Are you guys using the same number or you have your space?
Yes, we work together.
Okay.
So you get either
Okay.
Wendy or Stella.
Okay. That's easy. The names are easy for you, okay? Stella and Lawyer Wendy. Lawyer Stella and Lawyer Wendy. When you get to them, they'll tell you their last name. Don't ask me. They have beautiful last names. Yeah, so we're going to go on a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Welcome to Switch TV. I told you today is the day and we had fun and we've also learned a lot. It's knowledge. We are just educating ourselves on a lot of things that we did not know before. And today I'm so happy that Lawyer Wendy and Lawyer Stella was able to join us on Switch TV. Don't forget, if you need help, if you need any help regarding your asylum, regarding your application, regarding your status, please reach out to them. We're going to put their numbers, their contact, their handles together with a video. Reach out to them and let them help you. My name is Atamame and we'll see you another time. If you have any more questions, just leave it at the comment section and we'll be glad to help you with the answers as well. Have a nice day and see you another time.